I never thought I'd say this about the Volkswagen ID4, but yes, you absolutely should consider one. Did I just say that? I feel like punching myself in the face, but I have to tell you the truth. Damn, it is an absolute bargain. A lot of people are not taking the Volkswagen ID4 very seriously. They think it's, Volkswagen aren't serious about EVs, and well, to be fair, a very small percentage of Volkswagen's global sales are electric right now. But that doesn't mean they aren't ramping up, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't consider buying a Volkswagen ID4, especially when you look at what they're up to at the moment, which I have to say means it's their loss and your gain. Seriously, it really is. You can make money out of them by buying one of their cars. That's what they're willing to do. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. My name's Sam Evans. Thank you for tuning in. Volkswagen, very well known, they make a loss on their EVs. Now, realistically, Volkswagen's electric cars are cheaper in the United States versus what they are in Europe. If you add the $7,500 tax credit, which their ID4 does qualify for in the US, then, well, yeah, you're getting a decent, I wouldn't say great, but a decent car at a very good price. In addition to that, Volkswagen are making more cars available. In Europe, they're not selling very many. They haven't actually increased their ID4 sales at all compared to last year. However, in the US, it's a completely different story. The company is now delivering close to 10,000 units per quarter. In other words, they're selling as many of the ID4 in the US as Ford is of all their EVs combined. That's crazy. I mean, Ford's saying 600,000 by the end of this year. They only sold 10,000 in the first 3 months. Ouch. Volkswagen has reported that during the first quarter of 2023, its vehicle sales in the United States increased by over 4% year over year to a still very small, paltry, one might say, for the global mega company that they are, of 67,853. In other words, Volkswagen are selling only about 22,000 cars per month in the United States, period. That's not EVs, that's just cars. However, that's far less than what they sold in previous years, such as the first quarter of 2021 when they sold 90,000. Clearly, US buyers have said, you know what? Nah, I don't know if we trust this company. Fair point. Meanwhile, Volkswagen have significantly increased their all-electric vehicle sales, reaching a new all-time record. In Q1, 9,768 Volkswagen ID4s were sold in the US. That's 254% more than a year ago. That's spectacular. It's amazing, actually. Something that no one predicted. This was an increase over Q4 of 9,439. And it's significantly more than in the case of the Ford Mustang Mach-E. In fact, Ford Mustang Mach-E sales 5,400. Volkswagen are selling nearly twice as many ID4s in the US versus what Ford is the Mach-E. It's really hard to comprehend how this can be happening, but it is. Inside EVs says thanks to the ID4 production ramp up at the Chattanooga, Tennessee plant, all electric car share out of Volkswagen's total volume increased to 14.4%, which is a new high. It means that, incredibly, Volkswagen's percentage of EVs sold out of their total cars sold is higher in the United States than it is in Europe. How's that possible? I mean, it's now been higher for 6 months. Now, we're not talking like a 1 month little blip on the radar here. It appears as though this is the new norm. I mean, if Volkswagen weren't selling EVs in the US, their car sales would be almost very, very small. I mean, they'd be almost an irrelevant company. EVs are keeping them relevant. Interesting, because it's not just Volkswagen, it's Audi as well. The same exact thing has happened with Audi. Audi sales up 50%. Why? Their EV sales have increased exponentially in the United States. For reference, in 2022, 20,511 Volkswagen ID4s were sold in the US. That's 22.5% more than in 2021, when they sold 16,742 and 6.8% of the brand's total volume. So as you can see, Volkswagen have sold more cars, more EVs in the past 6 months than they had entire year of 2022. That's a huge increase. Cumulatively, more than 47,000 ID4s were delivered to customers. Clearly, a very relevant thing that's going on here is Volkswagen is disrupting companies like Hyundai and Kia. Kia EV6 sales down, right? Makes sense. It's not made in the US, doesn't get the $7,500 tax credit, along with many other EVs, such as the Toyota BZ, whatever it's called, BZ4. So that means buyers are getting these cars for a very good deal. Plus, the batteries are produced in the United States by SK Innovations SK On in Georgia. So the Model 3 doesn't qualify anymore for the full tax incentive. Neither do some Ford EVs because their batteries aren't produced in the US. ID4 car and the battery are produced in the US, so you get the full tax credit. The entry-level Volkswagen ID4 starts at $38,995, which is $40,300 in total when you consider the delivery charge, which I think applies for most manufacturers, so it's nothing out of the ordinary. So that means you're paying $32,000 for this car. I don't think there's a gasoline-powered car that Volkswagen sell for $32,000 that's anywhere near as good as this. Yeah, it's actually really worth considering. I wouldn't have thought that I'd say that about an ID4, but $32,000, yeah, you absolutely should consider one. That's true. That said, personally, I'd still be buying the Model Y. Probably the standard range with the 4680 cells, $50,000 US, so then you're paying $42,500. It's about $10,000 more than the ID4. I think it's worth that. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. In the future, the ID4 will be joined in the US by the Volkswagen ID Buzz, which is their van. It's like their new retro combi van, and the Volkswagen ID7, which is a sedan. In Europe, the Volkswagen ID4 will sell better and better, say inside EVs, because it's produced at two plants, one in Germany in Zwickau and another one in Emden as well, which is also in Germany. With two more plants in China, in Anting and Foshan, online since 2020, the model is produced at 5 plants on 3 continents. Volkswagen will be making a huge loss making these ID4s in China, where they're selling them at ridiculously low prices, like $24,000, or even just ludicrously cheap, because they have to, otherwise they can't sell them because of the Chinese car market. It's just crazy. In the US, Volkswagen clearly would be selling them at a loss. There's no way they're making a profit making one of these for $39,000 US. We know they're not. If they were, they'd be making a song and dance. They'd be jumping up and down like maniacs, saying, look what we're doing. We're the first in the world other than Tesla to make a profit off EVs and BYD. They're not. Hey, take advantage of it. $32,000 for an EV. It's a good sized car. It's had some software issues. I think they're pretty much sorted. It's worth considering. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.